Federal prosecutors dropped a bombshell update in the Sean Diddy Combs case, and it's not looking good for the rap icon. In a new court filing, prosecutors said they now expect Combs to serve a substantially higher sentence than the 4 to 5 years they initially projected after his conviction. Let's break it down. Back in early July, Diddy was acquitted of the most serious charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, which could have landed him behind bars for life. But the jury still found him guilty on 2 federal counts of transportation for prostitution under the Mann Act. The charges stem from allegations that Combs arranged for both female and male sex workers to travel for sexual encounters that he allegedly filmed. Each of those charges carries a maximum of 10 years in prison. At first, federal sentencing guidelines suggested a sentence of 4 to 5 years, but prosecutors now believe the sentence could be much longer, hinting at new evidence or aggravating factors that could raise his prison term significantly. And with this new development, they say the risk of Combs fleeing the country is even higher than before. Diddy's legal team isn't backing down, though. This week, they pushed for a massive $50 million bail offer while he awaits his October 3rd sentencing, but prosecutors immediately opposed it, arguing that his wealth, influence, and past behavior make him too dangerous to be released, even under strict conditions. His lawyers are fighting back, saying the correct sentencing range should actually be between 21 to 27 months, not years. But it's ultimately up to Judge Arun Subramanian, who has full discretion to follow or completely ignore the federal sentencing guidelines. Federal prosecutors and the judge are in agreement on one key issue: Diddy is considered a danger to the community. Yes, despite offering a massive $50 million bail package including house arrest, passport surrender, and 24/7 monitoring, the court said no. Here's exactly why. Firstly, the judge pointed to past domestic abuse allegations, disturbing surveillance footage showing Diddy attacking his ex-girlfriend Cassie, and claims from victims who say they still fear for their safety. Prosecutors argue this history reflects a propensity for violence and intimidation. Another major reason for the denial: federal law requires mandatory detention for the crimes that Diddy was convicted of, 2 counts of transportation for prostitution under the Mann Act. That means it was up to him to prove by clear and convincing evidence that he's not a risk. According to the judge, he failed that test. To make matters worse, prosecutors now believe his prison sentence could be much longer than the original estimate of 4 to 5 years, possibly closer to the 20-year max, which makes him an even greater flight risk in their eyes. And finally, this wasn't a one-time mistake. Prosecutors claim Diddy led a pattern of organized behavior, flying in both women and men for sexual acts that he allegedly filmed and controlled. They described it as calculated, premeditated, and harmful. All of this convinced the court that releasing him on bail, even with $50 million on the table, was simply too dangerous. Diddy will now remain behind bars until his sentencing on October 3rd.